So most of you are familiar with the news of Bully 2 being announced, but rather than me repeat myself for 10 minutes straight, I'm going to be covering every possible hint about Bully 2 and its possible release. In July 2006, before Bully's release date on the PS2, Take-Two Interactive registered bully2.com. If you visit this website, you get redirected to Bully's official page on the Rockstar's website. Now, Take-Two have registered a load of domains for future games. For example, GTA4.com was registered in 1999, 9 years before GTA 4 even came out. Take-Two have also registered domains for GTA 6, 7 and 8. And as we all know, GTA 6 is going to be coming eventually. So could Take-Two have plans for future sequels already, or is it a case of them being prepared if a sequel does get decided? In 2009, Sean Lee, the composer for Bully's soundtrack, claimed he was working on the soundtrack for the sequel to Bully. At this time, Sean's comment was the only news we actually had about a potential sequel to Bully. In Max Payne 3's data files, inside Common RPF, there's a very interesting data string. And that data string is X, Jimmy, build, dev, common data expressions. Now some of you might not know what this is, so let me explain. In many of Rockstar's games that use their Rage engine, there's often loads of leftover files from leftover games, or even stuff left over from development like file logs. Anyway, in Max Payne 3 you can find files that have strings like X Payne build, which is obviously some path relating to Max Payne 3. Why is there a file that has a string X Jimmy? Could it be a placeholder name for an unreleased game? It could be. After all, it's not uncommon for game developers to use dummy names for their games to prevent leaks from surfacing online. After all, a game called Jimmy sounds really boring, doesn't it? Now some of you could be thinking, why has this got to do with Bully 2? Jimmy could have just been some character planned for Max Payne, but he was cut. Well, Max Payne was actually developed by Rockstar Vancouver, who made Bully 1. So maybe they were working on a Bully sequel before they were told to work on Max Payne 3 instead. This is actually backed up in 2011 by Dan Houser himself. To quote Dan Houser, "So we knew that we didn't want to start doing the Bully sequel instantly at that second with those guys. Even though it is a property, like Max, that we adore and we might come back to in the future, there's just no impetus to do that then, so we said, you can do Max and then we will see what we can do with Bully." So could Bully 2 have already been in development but cancelled very early on? In 2013, Dan Houser has stated in an interview that he would like to do a second game, because there's a load of directions you can go with a game like Bully. In 2015, Take-Two Interactive registered the domain bully.online. Now we can only assume at this point that their online games will be called Series Online. You know, like how Grand Theft Auto Online is just called Grand Theft Auto Online. Now during this time, Take-Two also registered domains for Bioshock.online, Civilization.online and of course GTA.online. And I presume they also did Max Payne.online as well. Since Bioshock, or Civ, isn't a Rockstar game series, I personally don't think it was registered for future sequels. So take whatever you can from that, because it may mean something, it may not. In July 2015, Take-Two also filed a new trademark for Bully, which would make sense if there's a sequel coming. You could argue that the recent mobile re-releases and the Xbox One backwards compatible release, if you can call it that, could be used to generate more hype for Bully, widen its player base before announcing a new sequel. Which is actually a clever thing to do, rather than surprise everyone with a new announcement, considering Bully isn't as popular as games like Red Dead Redemption or Grand Theft Auto. A well-known GTA 5 leaker by the name of Jan2295, who has gotten a load of things right with GTA 5 leaks, has claimed that Bully 2 is coming after Red Dead Redemption 2, and that Bully 2's trailer will be surfacing a while after Red Dead Redemption 2's release. Now obviously that's just a word of some guy on the internet. He could be wrong, he might not be wrong. Because I know some people are already hyped for this, but personally, I'm going to say, just take it with a grain of salt, because you never know. He might get it wrong, he might not. Anyway, those are all the hints that we have towards Bully 2, and thank you for watching.